here I am, 19 years old, 1920, life is good.
Yeah.
And this is what happens then. As the years went on, my hair, I'm losing my hair. It would slowly thin more and more. You know what? Like I've tried so many things.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm tired of it. In my head, I'm thinking I've got another solution to my hair loss. Before I was growing it longer. Now I'm using hair fibers.
Hello guys, my name is Umair Tara. I'm a 27-year-old doctor based in North London. Today I'm here sharing my personal journey and my personal experience as well as my personal struggles with hair loss. Now, nothing I'm saying in this video is intended to be medical advice. If you'd like medical advice, you'd have to seek that from your medical professional. Everything I'm saying, it's just my personal opinion, not as a doctor, just as a person who's struggled with hair loss for a long time now. So I hope you guys enjoy the video and thank you very much for watching.
How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Baldcafe podcast. It's the bread and butter of Baldcafe. We're back with episode 37. We've got Umair here. I know you're really keen. You wanted to come on. You've had, quite a journey with it, right? With a lot of different things happen along the way, which we're going to hear a lot about. Take me back to when you first found out that your hair was falling out, or you first suspected that you had hair loss and things like that.
It's really been since such a young age. I was literally like 13 years old. I'm 27 now, 27 years old now, but I was literally 13. I was in school, in secondary school. And I remember this is what happened. I used to get, I think my mom used to take me for haircuts sometimes. And I got this haircut once and it was quite short. And I had black hair. And when you've got like black hair that's thin, it can sometimes give like a greenish appearance. When my hair got cut short, it was black on the back and the sides, and it was just a little bit thinner. And because I've got a brown scalp, and it was like I could see a little bit of brown in the black, and I didn't think much of it. And do you know what? Like I was 13, so I didn't really know much about hair loss.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I thought it looked pretty cool. Like in the beginning, when I was 13, I got this, different kind of color, a little bit brown. I just thought it looked cool. And my dad is bald, by the way. My dad is bald.
Right.
And my mom's got very thin hair as well. So I don't have the best hair genetics. But at 13, you're not thinking about hair,
Right.
So this was when I was 13. But then it wasn't until maybe like when I was spending more time at school, some of the kids started pointing it out. So they would say, "Oh, I can see your scalp." That's what they said when the hair was short. "Oh, I can see your scalp." And then basically, so like I was 13 years old. Around this was all when it first, people started noticing. I started noticing, and then basically, how people cannot be like not the nicest people in school and everything. And then some of the kids at school, they started to joke about my hair. They were saying, "Oh, you're going bald. You'll be completely bald by 18, right?" Yeah. And obviously that's gonna scare any 13-year-old to hear that they're gonna lose their hair by 18. So I remember one of the nicknames I got called in school was Baldilocks. And
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, Baldilocks. Yeah.
What I did, what a lot of guys do in the beginning, is just grow their hair longer. That's it, man. You've got thin hair when it's short. If you can see the scalp, okay, I'll just grow it longer. It will cover the scalp. So. Yeah. I know I've read some places on Google, if you've got thinning hair, then it's better to keep it short. I've read that online, but for me, at least, what worked for me is just grow it longer so that it covers, it just covers the scalp.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And that did me well up until maybe around 18 years old.
Right.
And this was the time where, I was just about starting university now. And I noticed that even when it's longer, it's starting to look a bit thin now, I could see that even when it's longer, it's starting to look a bit thin. And at this point, I need to do something, at this point, when I was 18, I just thought I need to do something now. Like I've used this long hair kind of cover method for 5 years now, and it's not sustainable anymore. It was like a temporary fix. So I realized at 18 that I got to do something. And this was the age when I was 18 or 19, I was in my first year of uni. I was just, exploring options, looking at things, and, in the back of my mind was always the hair transplant, right? I always thought, oh, you know what, like, and a lot of my family members would reassure me because they all knew that, he's a young guy, he's going bald, he's a young guy, he's been balding from a young age. They would always reassure me, don't worry, you'll get hair transplant. And that's what I thought as well, hey, it's okay. When I lose my hair, I'll get hair transplant. That was how I was thinking at 18, that I could eventually get a hair transplant. Eventually, that was what I thought. And you know what? It gave me a lot of reassurance.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, did that allow you to sort of not totally forget about it, but just kind of not have it always playing in your mind? You just thought, I can do that, so I can just relax for a bit now. Is that? Yeah.
Absolutely. It made me calm. It made me relax, that there's a solution. And, in my head, I was thinking there's a solution, there's a cure to my hair loss, right? Which is the hair transplant. So, but then I was 18. I wasn't, I guess, financially ready at 18. I'm going to uni. I don't have any money.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm still so young. I think from when I did do some research back then, I remember a lot of people were saying that you should be 25 to, have a hair transplant. You should be older. So I left it there and I looked at other solutions at this time.
Right.
And I remember I was on, what do we do when we're not sure? We look online. That's what we do. Do you know what I mean? Like we go on Google. Now we go on YouTube. This is our lives now, and it's great, it's great to see answers, to things. So I went on YouTube and I saw this video. It was about hair fibers. I can't remember which brand it was. It might have been Kabuki or one of these hair fiber brands, right? And it was a dude who was literally completely bald, and they put the hair fibers on him, and he had a full head of hair. And I was literally like, wow. I was stunned by the video. And I was absolutely shocked. And I was like, do you know what? I need to get this, I need to get this. I must have been 19 now. So I was in university and I had thin hair, right? So obviously the kids around me, they probably knew that he's a young face with not much hair. You do stand out. You do stand out because there must have been people who were 30 years old in my uni who had full heads of hair.
Yeah.
And even later than that, and then there's me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I definitely knew that I stood out in terms of my hair.
Right.
That was something I knew. Maybe I thought.
Did anyone ever say anything or like ask you about it?
Not at uni. Do you know what? Not at uni. At school, people did kind of poke a bit of fun, but do you know what? Like at uni, people didn't really comment on it, and that was nice. That was really nice because I guess we're older, we're more mature. Do you know what I mean? So people aren't just going to poke fun at you when we get older. When you're a kid, people will be like, oh, he's losing his hair, oh, he's baldy locks. But at uni, I'm not going to lie, I felt quite accepted. I felt quite accepted. I felt in that sense, I felt good. Maybe, who knows, maybe people were saying it behind my back, but do you know what? I guess at that point it was more of like me and my confidence, with my hair. I think at the age of 18 and 19, I didn't see it, let's say, as an abnormal thing. I felt more of it's affecting my confidence because, like I said, there's guys who were 30 and 40 who have full hair, amazing hair, and then there's me who's so young without hair, and that affected my confidence.
Yeah.
And if something affects your confidence, it affects every part of your life, doesn't it?
It does.
Do you know what I mean? Like if your confidence affects your work, affects your dating life, it literally affects everything. And that's what my thinning hair at 18, that's how it was affecting me. It was affecting my confidence, which would then affect onto every other aspect of my life. And obviously, having gone through it from such a young age, it's a big insecurity. Do you see what I mean? Like it was just a major insecurity.
Like you said, it affected your confidence. Did it, because your confidence was affected, do you think that also affected your time in university in terms of like getting involved with things, the social aspect, like you said, dating? Obviously, when you go to uni, there's loads of sports to get involved in. Yeah, did it affect the social aspect of university?
Absolutely, man. It literally affected everything. Like, who knows, at the end of the day, I didn't get involved in many uni activities. Looking back, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say like directly. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'd say directly, but I didn't. And I would just say, generally speaking, I wasn't such a confident person at the beginning of university. And this was a major insecurity of mine. So it didn't help. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that if I had, let's say I back then I had a full head of hair and I was at the beginning of university, I think I would have got much more involved in loads of activities. I definitely think I would have, done more sport.
Yeah.
Been more confident to speak to women. I would have been more confident in that respect. So it definitely did affect my confidence in terms of, the social side of things, the dating side of things. Absolutely. When I was, 18, 19, it definitely did.
You moved on to you saw the video, right? You saw a video for some hair fibers. What was your next step for you? Were you like, order?
The next step for me was literally, let me get some of this right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my God, there's this guy who had even less hair than me, much less hair than me on the video, could just, his whole head was just restored. And I was so shocked. And I was like, do you know what? I really need some of this. So I think I must have ordered it that day. Literally, I must have ordered it that day.
Yeah.
And I think what I did was initially I experimented with a few of the hair fibers, kind of found which one worked for me. And I think I kind of stuck with Topic. Topic was quite good. I liked Topic and Nanogen. That was the other one. I kind of used both of them.
Right.
And this was a solution to my hair loss at the time. I'm 19 years old. I had thin hair. It's longer. But you know what? I can now cover it up with the hair fibers. And that was literally what I was doing every single morning.
Yeah.
As soon as I came out of the shower, I would just let my hair dry and I'd just start, putting the fibers on like that. And there was like a fiber hold spray as well. So I would put the fibers on where it was thin and just put the hold spray on. So here I am once again at 19 years old with another solution in my head. I'm thinking I've got another solution to my hair loss. Before I was growing it longer. Now I'm using hair fibers, so I'm fine. And then once you've got like a temporary solution to something, you just forget about it. You know what I mean? You just get on with life. And then, I came back to uni. People were thinking I had like a hair transplant, and I just avoided it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting. So if they did bring it up, were you just like, nah, it's not, and then leave it at that? Or would you tell them like, no, I'm using these hair fibers? Did it give you confidence enough to be able to sort of say that, or how did you go about that?
You know what it was like with my close friends, I could tell them, because like I would share my problems more with my close friends. So they knew, that I'm dealing with hair loss. So with my close friends, I told them. With other people, I think I made a joke once to someone. I said, I prayed for hair and it came. I must have
really.
I was joking around, but I did say that I was using a lot of oils as well. I'll be honest with you, I tried to avoid. I didn't tell people. Not many people who didn't know me so well would comment. So I guess the people who knew me well, I would tell them this. Yeah. So maybe the word got around. Who really knows? But whatever. I had a solution. I was happy. And as soon as I got that, my confidence level increased. As soon as I got the hair back, my confidence was increased. And then what did I see in life? I noticed that, hey, I'm making more friends. Hey, my dating life's better. I'm going out more. I felt like my life was better. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like such a stronger person as soon as I got that. Probably not as soon as I got it, but as time, as I kind of adjusted into it, I didn't feel like I have that insecurity anymore because it's, in terms of everyone, how they look at me and how I look at myself in the beginning, I look fine. I've got nice hair. And I, like automatically, like I said, the confidence improved. So then all other aspects of my life improved just with it. So that was great at the time, So here I am, 19 years old, 1920, life is good.
Yeah.
And this is what happens then. This is what happens. So as the years went on, my hair, I'm losing my hair. It would slowly thin more and more. And I had to keep using more and more fibers. Right. And there was a point when I was using both Topic and Nanogen fibers. I was using 2 fibers at once. Yeah. And I was just doing them in such a way that would just work for me, you know what I mean? And I would grow the hair longer and longer as well to use the fibers, because if your hair is really short and really thin, there's only X amount of space that the fibers can actually sit if they're going to sit on your hair.
Yeah.
If you don't have much hair and you use these fibers, then what will happen, as I'm sure you know, they'll just kind of sit on your scalp.
Yeah.
So it came to a point. So we can fast forward 5 years now. So now I'm 24 years old. I've done my degree. I'm now working as a junior doctor. I'm in the working world now, and I literally had, I've been using these fibers now for 5 years. Slowly, as the time's gone on, I've had to use more and more. And it's coming to a point now where I'm starting to get worried again, because now I can see that I can no longer attain full coverage of my head with using the fibers. Right. Does that kind of make
yeah? So basically the hair got so sort of thin, there wasn't enough for the hair fibers to work anymore, right? And suddenly there's a little hole in that armor, in that hair fiber armor begins to appear, right? A little chink.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was back to like how I was when I was 13 again in the beginning, because I could only put a little bit of the fibers on. If I put more, they would just sit on the scalp. And if you looked closely, you could see that it looked like my scalp was painted black. That's kind of what it looked like if I put too many fibers on. So I could only use a little bit of the fibers to just enough to just sit on the hair. But if I used any more, the fibers would not sit on the hair. They would just sit on my scalp, and it would just look like I've got some hair, and in between the hairs, it would look like it's kind of painted black. Does that kind of...
I totally get it. Yeah. There was a point of no return, right, with the application. Yeah. And if it just took it too far, it would look fake, I guess. If someone sort of looked closely, it would look fake, right?
Absolutely. And that's exactly where I was. I noticed it, and I realized at this point again, okay, I've kind of done this now for 5 years, so I need a new solution. Like I managed to get a solution 5 years ago, but now again I'm in trouble and I need a new solution. So what really made me realize that was, I remember I was at work, right? And I remember there was this nurse at work, and she kept looking at me, and I thought she liked how I looked.
Oh yeah.
And then I noticed she's just looking at my hair, and then I instantly realized that she is looking at my scalp because there's something wrong with it, and it doesn't look natural. And then when I noticed that people are when they're looking at me and talking to me, they're looking at my scalp. Yeah. That was literally what was going on. When I realized that was happening, I was just like, this can't go on anymore. Like the hair fibers aren't working for me anymore. Yeah. So at this point, I just had to, I had to look for another solution. So this is where Hair Systems came in. I think I saw an advert for one of the brands, and I could see them and I saw I saw this guy. They had an interview with this guy who was wearing a hair system. He was talking about how great his life was, how much it's changed. And, when you see like testimonials of people tried something and they're telling you it's great, then, sometimes it can be really convincing,
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Like I felt so convinced that, hair system, it looks like such a good option. So at this point, I realized like I've only got two options left. It's either the hair system or a hair transplant. Right. Now, I thought for me, the better solution was the hair transplant, because with the hair system, it's not natural. You're still gluing something onto your head. Whereas with the hair transplant, like your hair would just grow naturally. So I did want the hair transplant. And I remember I went to like one of the doctors in central London. I just wanted to, I got an appointment with them. Yeah. And they looked at my hair, and I remember he said to me that because I have thin hair all over, I have thin hair on the sides, I've got thin hair on the back. And I remember that he told me that your hair on the back is too thin for a hair transplant.
Right.
That's what he said. And he said, I have a poor donor area.
Yeah. Okay.
This was obviously quite heartbreaking news to me, because you can see for such a long time, I was banking on that option. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. You said before sorry, 1 second. You said before the barrier was, finances when you were younger, right? But now the barrier is, well, you're not actually a suitable candidate for one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was kind of that was always in the back of my head. I'll be okay with hair because I can always get a hair transplant at some point in my life. I'll be able to afford a hair transplant. I'll be able to get one. But now I'm not a candidate for a hair transplant. So that obviously kind of shattered me. I was just like, wow. And I kind of refused to believe it. And I thought, maybe I should see another doctor for, just to get a second opinion. I didn't go through with seeing another doctor because I then came to find out about hair systems. I did find out about hair systems online again. Pretty much everything I found out has all been online, because you know what it is I just don't have many friends who are going through the same thing. Yeah. So who can I really talk to that knows about this? None of my friends, even now at this age, I think a couple of them are losing their hair now at 27. Yeah, a couple of them starting to thin. So where should I kind of go for advice? And if you see your GP, a GP is not going to refer you for a hair transplant. It's not like a procedure on the NHS. It's a cosmetic procedure, isn't it? I think that a lot of people do think that a hair transplant is a cure for going bald. And I think that if someone is losing their hair, often the first thing they might think is that it's okay because I can get a hair transplant. That might be a thought that could be going through their head. But, if you look in my case, that's what I thought. And I thought that for such a long time that I can always get a hair transplant. And that's what people around me would tell me as well. I would never have thought that actually I don't have enough donor hair for a hair transplant. That thought never even came in my mind. And when I went for the transplant and I was told that, I was like, I'm shocked. Like I said, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't really believe it. And I wanted to get second opinions. And, I wanted to go down that route of eventually. And then I just thought to myself, you know what, maybe I'll just add something on. What the doctor told me was that even if you were to get a hair transplant, you won't get the results you want. That's what the doctor said. Because I just didn't have enough hair, I just decided at that point, this isn't my expertise. I think this is the truth. I think I'm just going to have to face the truth, and I'm not a suitable candidate for a hair transplant. So all these years, that was what I wanted. That was what was there in the back of my head. Whilst I had these other temporary solutions, this was always in the back of my head. You can get a hair transplant. And then I was told the news at I think around the age of maybe 24, that when I'm in the working world, and I'm being told that I can't get a hair transplant. So, and my hair's so thin that I can't use hair fibers anymore, and otherwise people will notice. Like, what real solution am I left with now? You know, I don't have much choice anymore. You know, I'm quite restricted. And at this stage, then I did see videos online on YouTube of people giving testimonials about hair systems.
So you and the hair systems, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw people doing these testimonials, and at this stage, I thought to myself, well, after I saw these really convincing testimonials and people saying how much it's changed their lives for the better, I thought, let me try it. So what I did was I wanted to first see how does it look, because I think probably for anyone who's going to have a hair system, probably the first thing going through their mind is, does it look real?
Mm.
That's probably the first thing that's going through someone's mind. Does it look real? Yeah. And I went in store to one of the clinics and I asked them, I just want to see what it looks like. And I saw somebody who had the hair system on, and it looked great. It looked absolutely great. And it didn't just look good, it looked great, because it was not just hair, it was thick, incredibly thick hair. Do you see what I mean? Like it was like top of the range human hair. So I just looked at it. I thought, you know what, I want that. And it was very, very expensive. And I decided to go with it. You know, I decided to put that much money into my hair. I thought, I was telling myself that I'm investing in myself. So I decided to go with that. I then started using the hair system. Actually, I timed the hair system well because I was changing jobs. Nice. And I was moving. So I kind of timed everything very, very well.
Yeah.
So nobody from my previous job would kind of, it was quite a smart thing.
Those oils are suddenly really working and that, yeah.
So it was quite a smart thing I did. Like, I kind of timed it just at that point. So I'm just going, no one's going to know from my previous job. Anyway, I started my new job. I'm in a new place. Everyone thinks I'm this guy with this thick head of hair, and inside I'm laughing because 1 week ago I was someone else. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I felt like someone else. So anyway, hair system in the beginning, once again, great. All of a sudden, from no hair to hair, what happens again? I get full of confidence. And then again, everything in my life gets better. I'm happier. At least I think I'm happier. And again, life's great. So this must have been at 24, 25, around this. I'm 27 now, 24, 25. Right. Actually, think about 25. Yeah, probably somewhere around here, around 25. So anyway, got my hair system on. Everything's good. And one of the issues I was having with the hair system was that it was quite itchy, because what would happen was the place where I went, they would glue the hair system onto my scalp, and it would be on there for maybe 3 weeks, and then I would go back, they would take it off. So they were giving me this service where they were kind of doing this whole kind of because I know some people with the hair systems, they'll buy it and they'll take it off themselves. They'll glue it on themselves, they'll take it off. But I'm not like an artist, and I'm not great with hair, and I just wanted someone else who
you wanted to do it properly. You wanted someone to do the maintenance for you properly, right?
Yeah, basically, I just wanted someone else to do it, someone who's good at it. That's why I found this company. I went with them, but I was having quite an itchy scalp. And every few weeks I would take off, I'd go there, they'd take off the system, put it on again. The itch would kind of relieve. And I was getting this on and off itch, but from research I did, I was told that this was very, like, when you're wearing a hair system, this is quite a normal thing, that your scalp can be itchy. This is quite a common thing.
Was it like a relief when, like with the itch and stuff like that, after the sort of 2 or 3 weeks you've had it on, when they took it off, and like to clean it or whatever, was that like a relieving feeling when it was like, oh, it's off, and it was like, Yeah, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I like that, yeah.
Absolutely. As soon as it was off, and I remember the lady, she used to like massage my head as well. And
Yeah.
I looked forward to my 3 week appointments because I'd get like my head cleaned, all the glue would come off, and I'd get like a massage on my head, and it was just nice and it felt so good. So anyway, I've got this hair system. I'm having an itchy scalp from time to time, and things are going, but I would say on the whole, things are going quite well with me. And I think over time, it started to get more and more itchy. And there was, it must have been about a year and a half of using the hair system, my scalp, I don't know what happened this time. With the system on, my scalp was so itchy like never before, and I knew that was not normal. Because you know what? Sometimes I could get a bit of an itch, but what I'd do is I'd press down on the system, just press down on it, and the itch would go. But I got a really bad itch, and this really concerned me. And it was in the night as well, and that's not, like you can't do anything in the night. These guys open in the daytime. I said I can't keep this on anymore. I just can't. My scalp is burning. You know what I mean? It was literally burning. And like for me, there's no amount of pain that will justify having hair. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not willing to go through pain. For me, I've always put my health above my looks, and I'm not prepared to take any risk. Personally, I'm not prepared to take any risk to my health for having hair. So the scalp's itching like crazy. I went there. I told them that it's itching like crazy. I need to take it off. They took it off, and my scalp was red, and it was just kind of red all over. And as soon as they took it off, the itch started to calm down. So at this point, I realized that obviously it's probably related to the hair system. So anyway, I took it off, and I at this point I just kind of realized I got no options now. I got no options when it comes to my hair. And to be honest with you, at the time I didn't really care because I was having some really itchy scalp that was causing me discomfort. So I just had to get that off my head. So I didn't really care. At that day, I didn't really care. So I just took it off and just kept it off at the time. And then I got home and I decided to basically just kind of trim my hair quite short, kind of just trim it short all over. Next day, the redness improved. Itchiness wasn't there anymore. And slowly I improved. My scalp got better in a very short period of time. And I was bald, and I was shaving my head bald. At the time, I had no facial hair. I kind of just thought, you know what? Maybe being bald isn't so bad. I just thought, you know what? Like, I've tried so many things.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying things to stop to stop being bold when being bold is normal and it's natural. It's not abnormal. I don't know why people might think that it's not abnormal to be bold. It's a very normal and natural thing. So I kind of just accepted it, and I then, I was happy. I realized it's not that bad. I just really decided that, you know what, like, this is it. This is enough now. I've been through so much. I've been dealing with it since I was 13, and I'm like 26 now. And I've tried different solutions, and each solution for me has only lasted this long. And then there's something else. And I gave up, I just gave up with trying to hold on to my hair. And I realized that, you know what, I don't think I actually look that bad without hair. I think I look pretty good without hair. That's how I felt. And, then obviously I was happy my scalp was getting better and it wasn't itchy. I felt more like the feeling was better for me. The feeling, without a doubt, if I'm wearing, some people who wear a hair system, they might say, hey, it feels good, right? But for me, it was always a bit itchy, and now it's no longer itchy, and it's nice and it's clean. It feels good. I like showering. I like the wind, I like the sun, and if I feel it through, I like rubbing my head,
Yeah.
I like doing this stuff, and I enjoy this.
It feels free, feels light, fresh, no hassle. It is a great feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I liked it, and I accepted it, and then I started to grow a bit of a beard. I started to style my look around the bald look, and I'm happy. And it's actually like I've never been this confident in my life. I've never been this confident in my life. It's crazy because I attached so much confidence before with my hair, and that's what I did. And actually, I'm more confident now than ever because I've got rid of it. Like I had an insecurity, and I feel like I've got rid of because it's not there anymore. I just got rid of it.
Preach, man. Honestly, this is how I can relate 100%. This is how it works. And it's like, I put that down to now because you're confident in yourself. Like, you are now confident in you, who you are, what you do, how you speak to people, all the stuff that actually matters, that's actually important. And when you place your confidence in those things, who you are cannot be taken away from you. No one can say anything, to make you feel bad about it. It's not fragile. Like that level of confidence is not fragile, like thinning hair fibers, hair systems. Those things all have a sort of sell-by date, a breaking point, they're fragile. But when you put your confidence in yourself, like you have now, it's just, dude, it's like unshakable confidence.
Yeah, it's like nothing else. Honestly, I've never felt so good after going bald. I've never felt so good. I feel great. It was the best decision. It's not the best decision of my life, because it's the best decision with regards to my hair in my life was to go bald. And I wish I had just done this a long time ago and just kept it a long time ago, because I've gone through so much and spent so much money, and I've stressed so much, and I'm more happy now. Do you see what I'm more happy now. I've accepted this. It's not affected my confidence. As I said, I'm more confident now. It's just worked out so well for me. And I feel, if anything, it makes me feel a bit unique because I'm young and I'm bold, and it makes me feel a bit different. Actually, it makes me feel a bit different.
I think I don't want to cut you off, but I think also when you reach the point that you're at now, it's something to be proud of. There's a level of pride in it, and I think that's what you mean as well about being unique.
And what it was I attached my confidence to my hair. That's what I did before, and that's why I kept, like, as soon as I found a solution for my hair loss, it increased my confidence. But now I don't attach that confidence to my hair anymore. I'm trying to be more confident, like you said, in myself as a person. In how I am, in my personality. I'm trying to be more confident, and now that I feel like this, I just feel so much better. And really, it's not changed anything in my life. Like, nothing's changed. I was so worried that how would life be? How would a dating life be when I lose my hair? And it's not changed at all. If anything, I'm more confident. So really, life has not changed. Like, life has changed for me for the better. But all those things I was worried about, that that I'm going to be so insecure, I'm not going to look good, none of them have actually happened, and everything's been good. So really, it's really just been such a great thing. And the reason I wanted to share this story is because I was dealing with this for 13 years, from 13, and finally, when I got rid of the hair, I am the happiest now. So this is just my experience. This is how my experience has been, and it's been so positive. And there's nothing wrong with being bold. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very normal. It's nothing wrong with being young and bold. This is normal and it's natural, and we should be proud of it. I'm so happy that I decided to go for it.
But everything you've said, I can relate to 100%. You know, it's been a different journey through balding, but we've reached the same outcome. You know, we've reached the same outcome, and that's all I want for, like you mentioned, that's all I want for all the guys that are struggling at that point. You know, when they're feeling low, when they're just like the hair's really thin, people in school are taking the piss. You know, so all stuff like that. Just how when they feel the lowest, I just hope that they can just, you know, they might click on this video or listen to it, whatever, and just think, you know what, I'll hear these people out. Because also there's a point, I don't know if you were ever at this point, where people were so like determined to hold on to it and do anything to keep on to it because they're so afraid of what will happen if they're bald, that they don't have an open mind to like being bald or having a shaved head, you know. And I just hope that they'll give it a chance and listen to it at how it plays out, and it just like gives them a little spark of thought, that little gram, that little ounce of confidence, to plant that seed of thought in their mind, and think like, oh, you know what, life might not be that bad if I'm bald, you know. And that's all it needs. It just needs that little ignition, you know, that little spark. And then people go with it, you know, and then they can also get to this point. But no, thank you so much, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching this episode of the Baldcafe podcast. It's been a fantastic one, a really detailed look, you know, through a hair loss journey, and it ends as we've seen it end time and time again. So I hope if there's anyone listening or watching this, you know, that this story can inspire you, you know, because if you're there, and if you're worried about it, and if you think like, you know, what options do I have? I've got no options, and you're afraid of having no hair, of being bald, I really hope this story can inspire you, because you absolutely can achieve the same level of confidence, you know, the same level of clarity, and be completely at peace with it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Out of the darkness I rose up. Golden my soul, it's a gold rush. Yeah. Honor and freedom, I toast up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Heart on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions. Spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning.